Live apparently. Sick. What up, YouTube audience? I should post this link on my Discord. There's no normally there's share. Normally there's a share button when I do this, but there is no share button today. I wonder why. The plan was to make food. I'm wondering if I should make food. If you hear, oh hey, man's nana. There we go. Posting it in the Discord and it's done. All right. That might have been very loud. I'm sorry. Sick. I look sick. I always look sick in my Madotsuki sweatshirt thing. Look at my big glowy skills. Whoa, I'm sick. I'm thinking of making some food. Been a while since I've actually done a live stream. You know, been a while since I posted anything to this channel. Really. I mean, I posted that bass video pretty recently. I think I'm gonna make some food. I'm thinking noodles. What do you think? Noodles, ramen? I need a beer. I'm gonna take you there. Ramen, but use beer instead of water. That sounds like a terrible idea. I don't want to wash anything up, so yeah, literally nothing. I'm gonna make something that uses only one pot if I can. I can make ramen in one pot. I've done it before. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Make a stock in there, maybe fry some mushrooms up, maybe see what veg I have, something like that. How have I gone here? Eggs, I'll put an egg in it. Put an egg in it. I'll put, mushrooms take a while. Maybe I'll put some spinach. I do have lots of spinach. Fucking hell. I just fucked my fridge up. It's all okay, don't worry. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay. How am I going to do this? We got noodles? I should have checked that. Fuck. Oh yeah, there's some. Been on Japanese noodles, even though I'm making a Japanese meal. All I have is Chinese noodles, but that'll be fine. Okay. That'll be fine. I think the name of the stream is going to do it harm. I should have made that name. Oh, I have some noddy. That's useful. And put some noddy in there. Noddy is seaweed, by the way. There you go. I like seaweed, so I'll put as much as I can. It's also really good for you. I need some miso, soy sauce. Soy sauce, miso, eggs, noodles. Yeah, dashi. This is important. Dashi. This is the key to Japanese cooking. These little things. This is where it's at, guys, in case you didn't know. I was thinking of streaming some Sonic instead, but I haven't been buying Sonic recently. Let me taste this without cooking it, see what it tastes like. Alright, it changed exactly how I thought it would. It's good. I'd recommend it. If you have some, if you can, I'd recommend getting some. Yeah, I'll do some prep work, like ripping it up a little bit. Probably do it on carton board. I can definitely recommend this nori. Have you been a YouTuber guy at Sonic? I was only trying to beat him in one level. I haven't yet. I might actually stream right after this because I've been kind of wanting to play some Sonic recently. I literally haven't played since the last stream. I think I did like 180% run that I didn't record or anything, and it wasn't even very good. I was actually in class. Yeah, fun fact. Sometimes I bring my laptop into school, to uni, and if I run out of like shit to do, I'll just play Sonic. So sometimes I do that. But yeah, it wasn't a very good run, the one I did at school. Oops, I just spilled water everywhere. It's fine, it's just water. We need to wait for this to boil. I actually have no idea how long this stuff takes to cook. Oh, hey Jalen, what up? making some ramen. Waiting for my shit to heat up. What should I do in the meantime? What could make this taste better? Maybe I should get some. Hmm. So for today, what I've eaten for breakfast, I had two crumpets, nothing else, just two crumpets with butter and Vegemite on them, and then for dinner I had toad in the hole, which is for the first time ever I had toad in the hole, which is an English food, which is it's basically you make a lot of pancake batter, like the just flour, eggs, milk, shit, whatever, however you make pancake batter, and then you get some sausages, and you cook the sausages, and then you pour the pancake batter over the sausages, and you put it in the oven, and that's it. It's not that great. I don't think I'll have it again. It's basically sausages in batter, but it wasn't very. It was alright, but it's just kind of bland. Like it's just batter and sausages. There's no flavor to it. I think you're supposed to have it with gravy, but I didn't make any gravy, which is where I failed. Right. Got a bunch of seaweed here. This isn't. Put the dashi in now. Oh man, I wish you could smell this. It smells great. Soy sauce and dashi is the backbone of everything that's good in this world. Uh, I'm just gonna start with the pork, because fuck it. Put the noodles in. Put the seaweed in. Fizzing up a bit. It's weird. Put a good bit of spinach in there. Oh, that is a fuck ton of spinach. Well, like it shrinks a lot when you cook it. I'll just eat whatever falls out. I really like spinach. I'm gonna put my fork in there. And finally, one egg. Just crack it straight in there. There we go. We now have a poached egg and some noodles. Got a bowl. Sadly, these are the only big bowls I have. They look like this. They're not very practical for eating soups from. They're good for a lot of other things though. Now we're just going to cook these up until the noodles are ready, which they are definitely not right now. But I like to take this opportunity to separate some of the noodles out a little, because when they're all nested, they get a little tangled and they're kind of hard to eat. A little bit fell out here. Alright, let's give this broth a little taste and see if it needs any more soy sauce. Definitely needs more soy. I expected some shitty instant noodles, but this looks pretty good. It is pretty fucking good. It's really easy to make as well, and none of the ingredients are particularly expensive. Maybe the seaweed. Depends on where you live, I guess. I mean, it's still more expensive than instant ramen, but it's also way, way better. It's all thanks to the dashi. Ah, fuck, that's really hot. I don't know why I thought I could just eat something boiling hot straight out the pan. But let's get a noodle and see how it tastes. Need longer. Still eating, but it needs longer. I think I just burnt my mouth real bad. Ow. How's the stove? The broth. Pretty good. Yeah, I like things quite salty, so I think I'm even going to put a little more soy sauce in it. Wow, that was quite a lot. It'll be fine. Now this will be pretty much done, I think. I think I cracked the egg a little too soon because the egg's going to be a little hard, but it'll be fine. Wow, this noodle is ridiculously long. I kind of feel like I should have broken these noodles up before I put them in. They're edible now, but personally I prefer my noodles a little softer, so I'm going to keep them going. Whoa, that's a bit ridiculous. I'm going to begin tidying up while I'm... It's called thinking ahead. I'm tidying up before I've even finished cooking. Actually, this is the one thing I shouldn't be tidying up because I might even need some more sauce. What the fuck? There's just a bunch of noodles hanging out here. That's weird. This is looking really good. Could go for a little longer. But actually, you know what? I'm gonna call this done. Actually, yeah, this is a good idea. there anything else in there that I need to get out? There we go. Yeah, the egg is definitely overcooked. Certainly I could have waited a little before I put that egg in, but overall, this looks delicious. The egg is quite overcooked, I can see. Yeah. But it's edible. Like, it's not bad at all. It still tastes like eggs. It just tastes like hard-boiled eggs. It's not bad. Not bad. Should have put it in a little later, but it's not bad. Let me get a fork. Because, yeah, sadly I don't have chopsticks. It's actually going to be ridiculously hot right now. And I need the toilet anyway, so I'm going to go to the toilet while this cools down. Oh man. I wish you could smell the smell that I'm smelling. Message redacted. ASMR eating stream. Hell yeah. Here we go. I believe that's called mukbang. That seaweed is delicious. That seaweed was a great idea. These noodles are crazy long. What the fuck? I definitely should have broken this up before I put it in. I mean, the egg, even though it's much more hard boiled than I normally have it, or would want it still tastes really good because it absorbed all the flavors of the stock. And it's not dry, obviously, because it's literally submerged in liquid. Normally I watch some videos while I eat, so I will emulate that by watching videos right now. What do I watch? I mean, unless you guys want to suddenly become more active and talk to me, because I'm so lonely. It's very tasty, I must say. And healthy as well. I mean, it's just noodles, eggs, and then a bunch of green veg, which is good for you, right? Only one egg. It's not too much. And also poached, not fried. Did I listen to the new Kanye album? Yes, I did. It's trash. I hated it. I thought it was really bad. I think it's the worst album Kanye's ever made. I think it's miles. It makes Life of Pablo look like a masterpiece. The only reason I think it's so bad is it's so boring, which is the one thing Kanye should never be. Like, no matter even the worst Kanye tracks, you can never say they're boring in general. The entire album is just so boring. Like, you listen to the first track and you're like, oh, he's using these gospel choirs. That's an interesting motif. And then here's what he does with it. Nothing. He does nothing with it. They only sing triads. There's no interesting harmony. There's no interesting rhythm. You can even see Kanye being sucked into the like pop trends of the day. He makes a lot of the songs much more trappy than he normally would. And the lyrics aren't great. I mean, granted, I only listened to it once, so I only heard whatever lyrics I managed to hear. I haven't read the lyrics or anything, but there was no lyrics that stood out to me as good. I know people are already clowning on the "You're my Chick-fil-A" whole thing, which I didn't think was that bad, but it's a little ridiculous. This is really good. The mixture of the seaweed and the spinach, they both go together really well with this soup sauce thing. If you're just tuning in, I just made these noodles from scratch-ish. I didn't make the noodles themselves, I made the soup. With noodles, which aren't Japanese, they're Chinese noodles, but that's the only ones I had. Dashi stock, soy sauce, spinach, nori, seaweed, and an egg. And it's delicious. Kanye sold out to the big kike in the sky, is what the comment says. Sure, whatever you say. I'm sure there's good Christian music. I just haven't heard it. I'm sure it exists. Where did I get my Madotsuki sweatshirt? From Fan Gamer, I believe is what the website was called. It's official merch. It's very good quality. I would recommend buying it if you're into Yumeniki. ITAOTA. I assume he's saying in the airplane over the sea, but A is not how you spell C, so that's confusing. If you mean in the airplane over the sea, that's not really religious music. There's only one lyric that says, I love you, Jesus Christ. That's it. And I wouldn't even put that album on my favorites. For a while, it was like, when I first heard it, it was like my favorite album of all time. But it's one of those things where the more you listen to it, like I've listened to it a lot. And eventually you start running out of things to pick apart, and you start realizing that when you actually look at the music itself, it's kind of bland. But I still like the album. I mean, Holland 1945 is like a fucking banger of all time. This is delicious, I must say. Good shit. Why is Japanese food like the best food? Like the flavors. Something about the flavors. Just so good. The umami. Yeah, I've been watching recently. I've been watching I discovered a type of anime, a genre of anime where the cute girls speak directly to the camera as if you're in the anime. And it's fascinating to me. It's like avant-garde French cinema or something. Like having the cameraman be a part of the movie. But not the same as like found footage stuff. It's like you're actually there. It's a very interesting genre of anime, even if most of the stuff is not very good. I'm just watching it because it's interesting that it exists. Or literally, they call it video girls. It's exactly the same thing. I'm a cool guy who plays cool games. I will purchase the sweatshirt so as to consume my elite gamer identity. Look out, world, here comes an individual. Too real, man. I've listened to Video Girl I. No, but I've heard of it. What is it? I know virtual YouTuber Kizuna I. That was some good shit. There's actually more stock left. You know, I might just literally drink the stock. It's just stock with a couple of bits of spinach in it. I might just drink it. Why not? It tastes good. It's got MSG in it. It has to taste good. I'm also gonna put a little more. I like my shit salty, what can I say? Gotta put the spinach right. Soup. No. I just poured soup all over myself. This is so delicious though. I could eat this all day. It tastes so good because it's got loads of MSG. A video girl crawls out of the screen and rom-com hijinks ensue. Manages to say something about loneliness without coming off as patronizing. It's weird science, but good. I'll check it out. Yeah, it's somewhat like Video Girls. I guess it varies. I'd say it's halfway between Video Girls and like a VN, like a visual novel, like a dating sim kind of thing. Because it's definitely inspired by dating sims. In fact, the first one I watched was actually an interactive DVD, which I didn't obviously I don't own the DVD of, but I mean I do. I got it legally. I mean is what I meant to say. But there's like an interactive DVD. So it was like sort of a less narrative driven visual novel or dating sim or whatever. But then the other one I watched, where I'm still watching, called One Room, that's more like a traditional anime. There's no interactive elements. The first one I watched had three endings. It had three different endings. There was no bad ending. They were all good endings, but it had three different endings. How the fuck do people drink alcohol? With our mouths. With our mouths, mate. With our stomachs and our hands. I don't understand what's difficult about how do you not understand the concept of drinking alcohol? That seems like a pretty basic thing to me. There we go. I did it. Shit's gross. Well, it depends. Everyone thinks it's gross at first, but they learn it's an acquired taste. It's like, I don't know how much of a thing this is in other places where tea isn't as popular, but in the UK, most people, they're given tea by their parents at some point in their childhood, right? And they probably won't like it that much, but you got to keep drinking it, and eventually it's an acquired taste. You learn to appreciate the flavors, and then like nowadays, I remember for sure when I first drank tea for the first time. I remember exactly. It was my mom gave me some tea because I was like, I want to see what tea is like. She gave me some tea. I thought it tasted like shit. It tasted super bitter and stuff. Eventually, I started drinking tea. Now I love tea. It's the same thing with alcohol, except alcohol never stops tasting like shit. Well, it depends. For example, that's why shots exist. If you don't drink alcohol, shots exist because no one really likes drinking straight vodka or something like that. But cocktails also exist, and then there's beer and wine. Like beer, like I quite like the taste of beer, but also I like the fact that it has alcohol on you. Normie drug, every drug's a normie drug, really. Like you'd think people that do heroin would be really interesting, but most of them are just kind of boring normies. I mean, I get what you're saying. I used to think the same thing. My opinion of alcohol used to be, it's the drug I do when I can't get better drugs. Oh, hey, XY. What up? Can we have a drug tier list? That's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll do that on stream. The thing about... Okay. Nice sweater, by the way. Thank you very much. Okay, so here's the thing about drugs. Let me take you back to my room and then I'll tell you. Alright, so here's the thing about drugs. Certain drugs aren't very easy to get hold of. Like, for example, for me, maybe some of you know have different connections than me. But for me, I have, like, it's quite hard for me to get hold of something like acid or shrooms. I don't have connections for that. So in that case, well, actually, that's a bad example because they're still top tier. But let's say something like, well, in the case of alcohol, it's so easy to get hold of alcohol that it kind of negates a lot of the negative aspects. Like it's because it's so common and also societally accepted. That's another big thing. Like you can drink alcohol in public and no one will really have a go at you. Like if you're drunk in public, people understand what that means. They won't like means you have a lot more options. But mostly the availability and the cheapness. Cheapness is a big factor for me. So that's a thing. Let me see if I can find a drug tier list online. Drug tier list. Oh, of course, that's not going to show up. I don't know why I thought that would show up. Oh, it's because I typed rug tier list. I'm retarded. TFT tier list. Team fight tactics. What the fuck is team fight tactics? What the fuck? This looks like a MOBA. No, this looks like a... Is it a MOBA? Like one, you know what I'm talking about. If anyone can tell me what team fight tactics is, I'll be grateful. Okay, tier list. Nice pants, they look good, crumpled on my bedroom floor. Okay. Sig. Sig. Right. Okay, I'll do a drugs tier list. The thing about drugs is pretty much all drugs make you feel good. So there really aren't any shit tier drugs. Like if they're drugs, they're drugs, you know. Oh, it's auto chess. I know what auto chess is. Okay, that makes sense to me. Um, I don't know why that came up when I searched for drug tier list, but there you go. Okay, tier lists. In F tier, I would put nothing. No, there's no F tier. Well, nothing that I've tried at least. In D tier is really, maybe I should work from the top down. Maybe I should work from the top down. S tier. Okay, I'm gonna work from the top down. So from god tier drugs would be nicotine for sure. Nicotine is a god tier drug. People who don't smoke, I don't know how to explain nicotine. Nicotine is a very complex subject. I have a lot of opinions about it. It's generally considered by society to be like a nothing drug, but I specifically remember how things were when I didn't have nicotine in me, like before I was addicted to nicotine, and I remember now, and one of them is clearly superior. Like a lot of people seem to think, including me for a long time, that the actual appeal of nicotine was the sensation that you get is actually just the sensation of appealing your cravings, like it's being addicted to something that doesn't do anything. But that's definitely not true. Nicotine has so many uses. It's a it's just like it's both a mild stimulant and a relaxant. Like it's both stimulates and relaxes you, which is great. It reduces your hunger, which is great, very useful, like practical. It's cheap and available. Well, not in cigarette form in the UK. The UK has very expensive cigarettes, but lots of taxes. But it's very available. You'll never be like, oh man, my nicotine dealer just ain't picking up his phone, man. I'm fucking here scratching in my arms. You never have that situation. It's socially accepted as well. In everywhere, even more so than alcohol. You can smoke at work or at school or whatever. But in terms of actual effects, like the thing about nicotine is it has this whole social thing to it more than any other drug. That's standing around smoking with someone is a really it's like somehow I don't know how to explain it. Something about it. It's almost you ever go to like a coffee bar, like those are called cafes. Like going to a cafe with a friend, when you have the stimulation of the coffee, the conversation gets more like heady. Same thing when you're smoking with someone. You get a little like it aids conversation somehow. Now there's a whole theory that the relaxation from nicotine actually comes from the breathing, the fact that it's controlled breathing, and I think that's a good theory. The fact that it gets you to think about your breathing is good. Is a good thing. Maybe it's not S tier actually. I'll put it in high tier, but it's a good thing because it's like a regular. It's a regular. Like it's got a timing to it. It's got a clock to it. I don't think you can understand this if you don't smoke. But if you do smoke, you know that after you have a great meal, a really big meal that's great, the cigarette after that, there is no superior feeling from any drug I've ever had. So I'm gonna put that on top tier, almost god tier, like A, almost S, A plus plus. I'm gonna put it A plus plus. Alcohol, I'll give it a B tier. Alcohol is a B tier drug. Mostly, it's not very euphoric at all, really, which is fine. But it's a very body type of weird looseness. It's a very strange drug. The advantages of it is that it's a very easy to get hold of, and socially acceptable. Um, Disadvantages would mostly be the hangover. Most drugs don't have that bad a hangover as alcohol. Um, Also, the route of administration is a little awkward. Like having to drink a bunch of beer or drink vodka or whatever is a little weird. So I'm put that on a solid B, which is still pretty high, but it's okay. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good drug. Coffee or caffeine in general, I'd put caffeine. I'll put caffeine in A tier. Yeah, I'll put caffeine in A tier. It's a very useful drug that is incredibly socially accepted. Um, and actually, if I was to purely on taste, coffee versus beer or any sort of alcohol, I prefer all the caffeinated drinks. I prefer tea and beer and coffee. I mean, not beer. I prefer tea and coffee, including green teas and stuff like that, to any sort of alcoholic drinks. Those they taste really good. They help you wake up. They're useful and tasty, and the effects are good. The problem with caffeine is it's kind of a shitty stimulant on its own, but caffeine plus L-theanine, that makes it high tier. If you have caffeine and L-theanine, I'll put that in A tier. Caffeine on its own, okay. Caffeine plus L-theanine, I'll put in A plus. Caffeine on its own, I'll put in A tier. Just a low to mid A, maybe a B. I'll put it like the thing about caffeine is it's a drug, sure, but it doesn't get you high. Like there's no euphoria, even when you're super caffeinated. In fact, it's actually quite easy to become quite uncomfortable from caffeine. Like I have heart palpitations when I drink too much. And it's not very fun at all. So maybe B tier, but I'm also super addicted to caffeine. This is impossible. This is an impossible thing because all drugs are so different from each other. Like if you were to ask me, would you rather have caffeine? If you were to ask me like, okay, you can either have this bag of coffee or you can have some cocaine, I'm probably gonna pick the cocaine every time. But in terms of cost, in terms of practicality, I'm not gonna do coke before I go to uni. I can do coffee before I go to uni. You know, it's very hard to rank these things. Cocaine is actually like shit here because it's so expensive for such a little bang for your buck. It might even be the lowest on my list because it's so expensive, but it only lasts for like 45 minutes ish. So that's probably one of the worst ones in terms of cost effectiveness, which is a big factor when you're poor like me. Shit tier. Um, MDMA would be, I'll put that in C tier. It's fun while it's happening, but the come down isn't worth it for me at all. Also, I actually kind of don't like it. Like it makes me too open, and then when I think back on it, I feel uncomfortable with how open and shit I was. So I'll put that in kind of maybe a C or D tier. Um, DPH, DPH, I'll put in C tier because it's not fun, but it's so interesting. So yeah, and while we're on DPH, I may as well mention DXM. I'll also put DXM in C tier. Pure caffeine. I've never had pure caffeine. I've never had anhydrous caffeine, so I don't know. Like coffee as a drink, I feel like people are getting confused. I love coffee as a drink. I drink a lot of coffee, and I drink it strong, and I have very strong opinions about how coffee should be made, and I love it. It's one of my favorite drinks. So and that's the thing. In terms of like actually a drink, it's probably God tier. In terms of a drug, caffeine is just like A tier. Yeah, DXM is probably C tier because well, it gives me stomach problems, which kind of ruin the whole experience. It can give you brain damage. That's not good. It's not good for your liver either. Like, it's very damaging for your body, but also it's not that great. So the trade-off isn't really worth it. So yeah, C tier. Weed, I'll put weed in A tier. That'll be an A tier thing. Uh, it has very few disadvantages, but the paranoia is definitely a factor. And also, if you smoke too much, the paranoia carries over to your day-to-day life, which is a little weird. Kind of makes you feel stupid. So I'll put that in A tier, but not S tier. Uh, Let me think. S tier, I'm gonna have to go with gabapentin. Gabapentin, I'll put in A tier because in S tier because it's basically perfect. Heroin gets an F tier for killing so many great artists. I've never tried heroin, but all opiates are basically the same thing, like just at various levels of intensity. And I'd put opiates at S tier, but like to a problem level. Like, I don't do them because I'm scared because they're so good. If you've ever like been on a nodding out type of dose of any opiate, you know that it's just way too good. So that is an S tier, but I would never do it again. Uh, I'm gonna put. I just fucking thought of one. Xanax or benzos in general. Benzos I'll put in B tier. They're better. They do everything alcohol does better, but also you don't remember any of the good times you've had on them, and like they're not very euphoric at all. So it kind of depends on the activity you're doing. I feel like if you're depressed, if you're not in a good headspace, you could just end up making it worse. So yeah, I'll put that in B tier. Acid, I'll put acid in S tier. Of course. All right, this is kind of boring now. Let me continue with different topics. I would really like to try acid. Do it, bitch. What two is breaking a 6-month no fap streak? I wouldn't know. No way that's happening. Stop doing no fap. It's bad for you and it's stupid. It's literally a meme that for some reason people on various image boards decided that certain things fuck with your dopamine system, despite there being absolutely zero evidence to support this. I believe, hey, look, porn is probably not that great. Like, if you wanted the effects of nofap for your psyche, I would probably just stop watching porn. But stopping jacking off is probably not really worth anything. It doesn't really do anything. You're just gonna get wet dreams anyway. Like, your body keeps producing the same amount of semen, so it just lets it out by having wet dreams instead of fapping. It doesn't make a difference. There's nowhere to fap here. How is that possible? There's always places to fap. That's just life, man. There's always places to fap. You just gotta be innovative. Redditors on image boards. Oh, my sweet summer child. I hate to tell you, every image board has been Redditors since like 2016. RV park with family. Just go into the bush. Just go into a bush. It's easy. I'm uncomfortable doing it here. I know. I mean, yeah, that's a tough situation. Remember to drink water, folks. Go drink some water. Stay hydrated. Here's something fun. This is called a Big Larry. It's like the simplest skill toy of all time. It's literally a bit of paracord with two metal things. If you want to make one yourself, you can use paracord and then get some hex nuts and put them on the end. Get 2 on each end or 3 depending on how heavy you want it. And it's super fun. It's kind of like a flexible version of pen spinning. It's somewhere, some people call it finger poi. If you know what poi is, it's like a thing the hippies do. Poi is kind of a shit skill toy, but Big Larry is much more fun. The only problem is that while you're learning it, depending on how heavy the weights are, it's probably best to learn with less heavy weights, but these are quite heavy, and while you're practicing, they will slam into your fingers quite a lot, like just as a natural part of how it is to do it. So you end up with all sorts of bruises on your fingers. But it is really fun. I would recommend trying it out, especially because it's so cheap. This is a Big Larry I got from AliExpress. It costs like £1.70 something p to ship from China, including shipping. It's super cheap. I would recommend, like, it's good. I find it kind of hard to recommend people to get into cardistry because like the poker size decks in the UK are very rare. If you live in America, you can get bicycles anywhere. At Walgreens, Bicycle have a deal with Walgreens, so you can go to Walgreens and buy a bicycle deck for $1 in America, or you can go to Costco in America and buy a brick, which is a brick is 12 decks. They come in a pack like this. You can buy a brick really cheap in Costco in America, but we don't have that here because Bicycle is an American company, or the USPCC, I mean, is an American company. So, actually, hold on a second. I feel like I remember hearing a news story that the USPCC went bankrupt or something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they went, like, something bad happened to them. Like, they went bankrupt or something. Or they got bought out. They got bought out by another company. I don't remember what happened exactly.
Yo, what's up, guys, and welcome back.
Okay, let me see Chris Ramsey's video on it.
Just 1 second. What's up, guys? I just wanted to chime in today because there's some big news right now in the playing card USPCC. That's the United States Playing Card Company. Now, I realize that this video is not going to be for everyone. There are a lot of people out there who don't give a crap about playing cards and that are just here for other content. That's cool. We'll see on the next video. But today, we're going to talk about playing cards. Cartamundi, which is a European playing card company. These guys, by the way, are massive. They produce playing cards for board games all over the world, and they also produce playing cards for magicians and cardists alike. So they're a massive factory that produces playing cards.
Yeah, that's right. Cartamundi bought USPCC, which is the company that makes bicycles. They make tally-hos, bees, basically every deck that people know, including a bunch of custom ones, was bought by Cartamundi. So maybe these will be rare in a little bit. Fuck. I just dropped everything. Welcome to Cardistry, folks. Yeah, I find it kind of hard to recommend Cardistry to people because it's like, unless you're already doing Magic and you have a bunch of decks lying around, like, you have to go out and buy a deck. And also, like, custom decks are a big deal in Cardistry, so you'll probably end up spending like at least £7 on a nice deck. Like, these are cheap, but only if you buy them in bulk outside of the US. Like, in the US, these are $1, but only if you buy them in bulk outside of the US, they're cheap. Otherwise, Most people like to do cardistry with nice custom decks, like this one, for example. This is my most expensive deck of cards as of now. I actually have a more expensive. I paid more. Well, okay, this is confusing. So this deck of cards is probably worth at least $100 unopened. It's called Blue Fontaines. Made by Zach Mueller, distributed by the Fontaine Playing Card Company. They've made a bunch more since then. Fontaine Finesses. This is the second version of Fontaines. The first ones are red. These are actually the worst ones because the stock is really thick. The stock is the type of paper they're made of. So when you talk about playing cards, oh god, I'm going to nerd out about cards. When you want to talk about cards, there's generally two things you're going to want to talk about when discussing how cards feel: the stock and the finish. The finish is the sort of lamination. It's kind of like a waxy thing they put on the back of playing cards. They don't stick to each other, and it also includes. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this on this camera. Hold on a second. See if I can. I don't think this is going to work. But if you get a bicycle playing card, you look really closely, you'll see there's actually lots and lots of tiny little holes in it. And that's because when you play with cards, you don't want them to stick to each other because otherwise it'd be impossible to deal them properly. So they have like a textured kind of thing to it with lots and lots of tiny little dimples. And that means that's called an air cushion finish, and it means the slides kind of they kind of slide over each other with a little bit of an air cushion. Makes it easier to cut them into packets easily. If you've ever played, some cards have a smooth finish, like for example, I think I have some aviators somewhere around here that have a smooth finish. Let me see if I can find some aviators. Aha. These aviators have a smooth finish, so if you look really closely on these aviators, you won't see those little dimples. These are also made by the United States Playing Card Company, and they also have a much more waxy finish and a thicker stock. They're more snappy. But these ones are much thicker. The stock is much thicker, which kind of makes them a little. In my opinion, I don't like them, but some people like them. Yeah, these are aviators. They're very similar to bicycles. Actually, I mean, in terms of price, they're actually they handle completely different from bicycles. They handle completely different from most cards. They're very waxy. The finish is very waxy. They're smooth finish, which is quite rare for cards. And different finishes are good for different things. Like doing a padiddle with these is very difficult because they slip. Or doing an angel, they don't angel very well, whereas bicycles angel really well and pedal really well, but they're pretty good for packet cuts, and they stay together in the air very well when you're doing aerials, which is quite nice. But yeah, these ones are quite expensive. But although these are now worth that much money, they weren't worth that much money when I got them. In terms of cards that were worth the most money when I got them, I have a deck that costs about $70 US when I got it because I won it in a competition, which are called the Rarebits, the original Rarebits. They're cool. They're made by Theory 11. Anyway, I'm going to read your comments instead of nerding out about playing cards. Name all the things you've broken when that flew off. I'm assuming you mean this. How do you afford drugs as a NEET? Himitsugus. Name all the things that have broken when that flew off. I'm assuming you're talking about this. I've broken nothing, but I've lost 2 of them. But they're so cheap it doesn't really matter. One of them's probably in this room somewhere. One of them is near Hyde Park in London somewhere, if you can find it. Man. Oh, hey, LV, what up? The fuck? I'm already watching Scooby-Doo 2. This is too much. I don't understand what you're talking about. Man, there was this one Kickstarter deck that someone here in Louisville did that I think you had. All of my playing cards are at my dad's house. All of my fancy decks are at my dad's house. So I probably don't have it here. This is fucking hell. Yeah, that's the thing. You gotta be careful with this because it will fly off and smash your computer to bits. This is an incredibly enjoyable experience. I learned some new tricks. I learned a new trick today, which was the Neosonic, which goes like this. Wait, that's it. It looks like nothing, but if you watch in slow motion, it goes like this. So I switch from you go from the first finger's grip, like this grip, then it goes forwards, and it goes kind of outwards, and does it. It sort of spins like this, and then while it's back here, you switch grips, so it goes like that. Actually, you don't need to use your thumb, like that, and now it's in my middle finger grip. And I also learned this other one, which is way harder, where like that. So essentially, it goes around here, then you let go for a split second for this to rotate, and you take it back. So this little bead does a full rotation around your finger, right? Like that. But then normally when you do that, you're stuck in a position where the thing's like this, and you have to sort of do a bounce back and spin in a different direction, like that, because it's an awkward thing. But with this one, you use a little bit of inertia to pull it round. I forgot what it's called, but it looks like that. And I'm gonna have to mute myself in a second. But do you like BT Bam? I've never heard of this. Is this the Europol version of a ballad song? Actually, fun fact: butterfly knives are illegal in my country. They're illegal in a lot of countries, actually, but of course they're illegal in the UK. But I have practiced with a ballad song before. It's pretty fun. It's quite similar to this, yeah. In fact, but if I was to, this is, I'd say this, the Beglari is kind of like halfway between a balisong and pen spinning, because it's got the pen spinning thing of like it going between your fingers a lot and shit, and spinning constantly, which is, yeah, it's very familiar with pen spinning. In fact, the word neosonic, this move that I was just talking about, the neosonic is literally, the name comes from pen spinning, a pen spinning move. A lot of them do, but the difference is that this is flexible, unlike a pen. So in that way, it's a lot more like a ballad song, because there's a lot more like, I don't know how to explain it. It's similar to one of those things. But ballad song tricks are actually, ballad song tricks are pretty fucking cool. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the thing about ballad song is you can use the folding part to put your finger in between it and spin it on it, which is kind of the entire key of Beglari. That you can put you can spin it on your finger like that. But yeah, I'm not very good at that. I can do some very basic ballad song tricks, but nothing complicated. Check this out, Spork. You didn't post anything. You gotta post something when you say something like that. Post it on Tano. I'll see it. I got the cops called on me for messing with a butterfly knife in public. Well, you probably shouldn't be messing with a butterfly knife in public, then. It's probably a bad idea. I haven't practiced cardistry in a long time. Especially not with aviators. I really like the design of Aviator. The packet. It looks really cool. Back. People all sketched out. You don't want people to be sketched out. So all sorts of crazy things happen. Yeah, Carter Mundi buying USPCC. That's kind of old news now, but I kind of forgot about it. Beg Larry is so fun. It's also quite easy to learn the basics of. Maybe that's just me, but like cardistry, when I try and teach people the basics of cardistry, like it's quite hard for them to pick up on. Normally I teach them the Charlier cut as a basic, which is the one-handed cut. But it feels very strange for people that have never done it before. Like, it's kind of hard because when you've done it a billion times, you just do it like this, like you do it really loosely. But when you've done it, if you do it for the first time, you got to work with gravity. It's very difficult to do for the first time. I remember learning it and finding it impossible. Like I was like, that's how it was the first time. And also, it was probably like this at the end. If you happen to have a deck of poker-sized playing cards, I would recommend getting into cardistry. It's a fun hobby. I don't really know. Actually, if you want to start out cardistry, I believe there's a YouTube channel called New Deck Order that has a pretty decent series on beginner cardistry moves. If you want to start Beg Larry, there's a YouTube channel called Around Square that has a bunch of good tutorials on there. The skill toys are just great, in my opinion. Any sort of thing like this. Kendama, for example, is a pretty popular one these days. Tech Deck was popular for a while. What else is a good skill toy that is popular? Yo-yos. Yo-yo is probably one of the most popular ones. Skateboarding is technically the same thing. It's all the same sort of thing. Skateboarding is sort of a skill toy. Like if you're a skater and you enjoy the process of learning new tricks and slowly getting better and better, that's essentially what skill toys are. But you can do it at any time, and there's like it's exactly the same appeal as skating. It's literally the exact same appeal as skating. The same dopamine response, except normally for somewhat finer motor skills than jumping. That's the thing. The thing about skating is it takes effort, whereas this takes zero skill. Well, I mean zero effort. Like it's just your hands. Virgin, you don't want people to sketch out by, says Chad. Why yes I do maintain a passive aura of anti-normie threat. How could you tell? That was way too difficult for me to read, but that is very true. That is exactly the difference between Virgin and Chad. Skating was fun, but it cost too much for me. Yeah, that's another thing. As I said before, this shit cost like £1 something, £1.70 something, and it came with 2 extra strings in case I want to change them. It's really fun. You could do this for hours. And it took me, I learned most of these tricks the first day I was doing them. And then the hard thing is just learning to chain them together. But I cannot recommend Beg. Like, I want to see Beg Larry blow the fuck up. It's so fun. And cardistry kind of blew up because there was a couple. Actually, there's a couple viral Beg Larry videos. But Kuma Films are basically to blame for all of this. There's so many crazy skill toys out there that I would never have even considered existing. I mean, juggling is obviously the classic one. It's all the same thing, really. But they all have their slight differences. Like, cardistry has the added thing of its association with magic, like cardistry was basically invented by magicians. Actually, yeah, I guess, because some would say that the first cardistry move was the Sybil cut, right? Which is this, which was invented by Chris Canna. Or some people say Kalusha's cut, which wasn't that. But I don't really think Kalusha's cut counts as cardistry because it's so simple. Like, and it's also kind of awkward. But some people say that's the first cardistry move. But I think Sybil cut's the first cardistry move. Which was, that was invented by Chris Canna, who was a magician. And it was just kind of a throwaway thing in one of his books. Actually, he invented it like this when he did it. It was 5 faces of Sybil, and it was like this. Something like that. I don't know, it's been a long time since I did Sybil. Like that. So yeah, cardistry was invented by magicians, so it's kind of got that weird magic thing to it. Like a lot of cardistry is kind of supposed to seem flowing and mysterious just because of natural circumstances of where it was invented. And then also there's the thing of there being 52. Like when you're doing Begleri, pretty much every skill toy I can think of only has 1 to 3 pieces, whereas cardistry has 52 pieces, so you have so many options. But it means it's kind of like it's such a weird. The interaction between them is so strange. There's a lot of really weird little unique mechanics that cards can do, like that, like a little thing like this, like flipping that top card over just because of the pressure. It's very strange. Or the fact that a card can kind of stick to your finger like that, which took cardists quite a long time to figure out. Or like thanks, Catface. Who are you, Catface? Show yourself in the chat. Are you XY? Are you Dadgun? No, Dadgun's. I think Dadgun's somewhere else. Like, there's so many weird mechanics to cards that makes it kind of ridiculously interesting. Like, you can fan them, you can spring them. Like this, there's not really many other skill toys that have such versatility. Like, although most cardistry focuses on packet cards, there's so many crazy things. What's the best genre of video that can't be on YouTube because of obscenity rules? The best genre of video that can't be on YouTube because of obscenity rules. What sort of obscenity rules does YouTube really have? I mean, a lot of genres of video wouldn't exist without YouTube, despite obscenity rules. Porn, weird porn, Akiyuki Shimbo porn. Yeah, Akiyuki Shimbo porn is the best genre of video that can't be on YouTube. If you've never watched, like oh god, there's a lot of them. Let me think. What's that one that everyone knows? Blood Royale. If you know what Blood Royale, watch Blood Royale. But I actually think Blood Royale isn't that good. There's another one that I thought was much better. Akiyuki Shimbo porn. Let me see. Hentai. There we go. Sibling Secret. Sibling Secret is pretty good. Temptation is really good as well. And Nurse Me is kind of boring. Blood Royale is cool. I haven't seen Swallowtail in. Nurse Me is not that great. Sibling Secret, probably my favorite. Blood Royale, probably second favorite. Temptation. Actually, maybe Temptation will be third, second. Swallowtail I haven't seen. Nurse Me would be last. But yeah, I'd recommend watching those. If you don't know who Akiyuki Shimbo is, or you don't know what I'm talking about, he's an anime director. You may know. Let me see. What's some popular shit he did? Puella Magi Madoka Magica. He directed Puella Magi Madoka Magica. He directed Hidamari Sketch. He directed Bakemonogatari. I think that's most of his popular stuff. I think Madoka Magica is his most popular thing. but he also directed like Metal Fighter Miku. If you've ever seen Yu Yu Hakusho, Yu Yu Hakusho is pretty popular, right? If you've seen Yu Yu Hakusho, which is the previous manga of the person who wrote Hunter x Hunter, if you've seen the anime of Yu Yu Hakusho, he, you know the tournament arc of Yu Yu Hakusho? You know that one guy's cool like dragon attack that he does? He animated all of that shit. So he's kind of a wacky director. But yeah, he just sort of went and directed porn for a while. And that's why, there you go. You can watch some porn made by him. Or hentai, whatever. What else did he make? Oh, look, I have his entire thing right here on the Wikipedia page. Oh yeah, he directed the original Magical Girl Lyrical Nanoha, Dance in the Vampire Band, which is pretty underrated. Fate Extra Lost Encore. March comes. Oh yeah, he directed some of Shingatsu no whatever. March Comes In Like a Lion. He directed Nisekoi. He's basically the greatest. Oh, Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. All of this stuff's kind of obscure, more obscure than you might think. More obscure than like Monogatari or fucking Madoka. Everyone knows Madoka. Panapony Dash, Negima, Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, Tsukiyomi Moon Phase, which is kind of shit. Denpa Onan Tosei Shun Otoko, which has a theme tune by my favorite band, Shinsei Kamata-chan. Dance in the Vampire Band. I don't know if I mentioned that already, but that's a great anime. I think it's pretty underrated. Arakawa Under the Bridge, which I only saw the first episode of. Triangle Heart. Oh, these are OVAs. Triangle Heart, Devil Hunter Yoko, Starship Girl Yamamoto Yoko. Oh yeah, Le Portrait de la Petite Cosette, which is one of my favorite anime. If you haven't seen Le Portrait de la Petite Cosette, I would recommend watching it. It's very good. Yeah, there you go. He also directed a bunch of porn, which is cool. Monogatari is more popular than Madoka. I don't know what Madoka is. I'm talking about Madoka. But I don't think that's true. Maybe in Japan it is. I know back in Monogatari sold more DVDs than Madoka. But I think Madoka is better known in the West. I would assume it is anyway. Madoka. I don't think Monogatari is more popular than Madoka. I'm gonna go on Mal right now, myanimelist.net. Let's find out, because this is what will prove it. I think Monogatari sold more DVDs in Japan than Madoka, but I don't think it's more popular in the West. Okay, Madoka. Oh wait, start with Monogatari so that I can have a climatic. Okay, Monogatari, 2009. Score of 8.35. 428,000. So 428,000 users versus Madoka Magica, Mahou Shoujo Madoka Magica. Which has an 8.42, so it's higher score. And 450,000. Wait, what? Yeah, 450,000. It's more popular by about 20,000-ish. On Mal, at least. So, there you go. I was right, as always. I'm always right. This is one of my favorite color changes because it's so ridiculous. How crazy is that, man? Look. Oh, your card. The 5 of Hearts. No, it wasn't. Oh, it was the Seven of Diamonds, wasn't it? What? I mean, obviously, since this is on camera, I can just do the snap change. Was your card the Six of Hearts? It wasn't the Six of Hearts. It's got a bow on it. Sorry. Whoa, it was a Ten of Spades, you say? The whole time? It was a Ten of Spades? That's crazy. Monogatari is the better show. I agree. Hitaki's Asked is a 5-star buffet. I don't think that. I mean, I don't think she's very thick, if that's what you're implying. I don't think there's many thick anime girls. I know people like to meme about thick anime girls, but there really aren't many thick anime girls. The only really popular thick anime girl I can think of is the big titty dragon from Dragon Maid, whatever her fucking name is. The one that's a Shotacon. Hitagi is pretty skinny, but I understand where you're coming from, and I wholeheartedly agree. What just starts on Digibro liking Lolly? I don't really give a fuck. Oh, hey, Tramp Stamp, by the way. Welcome to the stream. Madoka definitely has more normie appeal than Monogatari. Anyone who's seen like Sailor Moon growing up understands the premise of Madoka. To understand Monogatari properly, you need to be relatively well versed in anime as a medium, I think. And also, you need to be willing to watch like a million seasons of it, and you need to be able to read well, because it's a lot of subtitles. Are you over speedruns? I'm never over speedruns. I just haven't really been doing it much, but I'm fully intent to actually go for world record on the first stage of Sonic R, and which means once I start the grind, which will probably be soonish. I was thinking of actually streaming it today, but once I start grinding for the world record, because I am quite far away from getting the world record, so I'm going to be grinding. I'm probably going to be streaming every day. You'll know about it. You will know about me speedrunning. I don't know if I'm ever going to get world record on Resort Island. Maybe I can get it in some obscure category. But I feel like there is time to be, like, it's not perfect. Does the sweater mean you'll stream yourself going to sleep? No, it doesn't mean that. Oh, look, it's 4:43 in the AM. Yeah, I probably should go to sleep relatively soon. Those were some good ass noodles, I must say. Very tasty, and I put loads of veg in there, loads of greens, spinach, and nori. You really can't go wrong with that. I mean, it tastes good, and it's good for you. It's like the ideal food. Most things either taste good or are good for you, but nori and spinach. By the way, nori and spinach are probably my two favorite green vegetables. Like spinach. Spinach is great. I love spinach. I mean, they're both great. Like, what else am I going to put on my list of best green vegetables? Broccoli? Broccoli's fine. Broccoli comes into its own when you cover it in cheese. Broccoli and cheese is like the perfect combination. But that's because you've put a bunch of cheese on it. Cheese goes well with pretty much anything. Broccoli on its own is fine, but if there was a choice between broccoli on its own cooked or spinach on its own cooked, I'd probably pick spinach. Well, say you're putting some salt and pepper on it, spinach for sure. On its own, spinach without salt and pepper when you cook it is a little bland, but then so is broccoli. I don't know why I picked broccoli for this. Even things close to spinach, like cabbage. Cabbage is fine, but it's not that good. It's nowhere near spinach in terms of depth of flavor, and it's not as good for you as spinach either. Broccoli is probably as good for you as spinach, but okay. What about lettuce? Like lettuce is overhyped. Let me tell you what lettuce is good for. Lettuce is good for adding a crunch to things that aren't crunchy already, like burgers. Lettuce is only good for adding crunch to a burger, and it's shit for everything else. The only other time lettuce tastes good is when you cover it in salad dressing when it's in a salad. Whereas spinach, you just need salt and pepper, and it already tastes great. What time do you sleep? Late. Yeah, I sleep late. Probably around 5 o'clock. Hold on. Catface, just talk in the chat like you're not a retard. What's wrong with you? You don't have a YouTube account? Oh, okay. Never mind, I didn't read that. I can recommend some obscure games so you can be the one and only champion of them. Knowing how autistic the speedrunning community is, I probably will not be the one and only. Lettuce is also good mixed with pork and ramen. It's good, but it's no nori. I love onions. Yeah, I love onions too. Onions may even outrank spinach. In fact, they definitely outrank spinach. Onions are way more versatile than spinach, but onions aren't green veg. Onions are great. Root vegetables in general, great. Stop willingly eating celery. Meat-only diet is the only way. That's retarded. You've been listening to Jordan Peterson's daughter too much. Celery is delicious. Have you ever heard of fucking French or Italian cuisine? You ever heard of French food? You know what? You stupid tramp stamp. You stupid tramp stamp. You ever heard of French cuisine? You want to know what the basis of all French cuisine is? Something called a mirepoix. Mirepoix. You know what mirepoix is? Celery, carrots, and onions. That's the basis of all French cuisine, is a mirepoix. Look it up. In fact, it's also the basis of Italian cuisine. It has a different name in Italian, but I don't remember what it is. But I remember the French one. And it's the same thing. And it makes everything taste delicious. I don't know how to spell it, so I can't even Google it. Mirepoix? Muriepois? That's what I'm assuming it is. Nope, that ain't it. Well, I guess I'll find out one day. But that's where it's at. Oh, whoops, I forgot that I'm on camera and I can't just turn the light off like I normally do. Spinach is pretty good. Spinach is great. I feel like a lot of people underrate spinach because they've never had Eggs Benedict or Eggs Florentine. Actually, Eggs Florentine is the one I'm thinking of. I would recommend Eggs Florentine. That's my favorite breakfast of all time. Eggs Florentine. Spinach is incredible. It's also really good for you. The thing about eating food that's good for you is that when you eat food that's good for you, you feel good. It's not that I care about dying. I don't really care when I don't see the point of people who are like, you gotta eat healthy or you'll die young. It's like I smoke and I drink as much as I do anyway. Doesn't make a difference. But healthy food, firstly, it does taste good when you actually make it well. Not all healthy food tastes good. I've never had kale that tasted good. I've never had quinoa that tasted good. I've never had arugula. Actually, I have had arugula that tastes good because in the UK we call that rocket. And I forgot that arugula is just the American name for rocket. And rocket is absolutely delicious with a steak. So, never mind. 7-Eleven biphasic. Oh yeah, that's you have a biphasic sleep cycle. Epic. Onions, yes. Onions are great. You can put onions in everything. Onions, if you put onions and shallots in the same category, pretty much everything can be made better by putting onions or shallots in. Lettuce is great for a fucking sandwich. I already read that. Do you like caramelized onions? Bruh. Brr. Brr. Who the fuck doesn't like caramelized onions? That's like the best onions. They're amazing. More pro tips for onions. You're making a burger? Slice up some onion. Thinly sliced onion bits. Make a smash burger, right? You know how to make a smash burger? You get a little bowl of mince. Put it on the grill. Put it on the hob. Get some thinly sliced onion pieces. Just put it on top. Just smash it all together. The onion juices and the meat. It makes it way better. It's so good. I'm telling you, onions are great. I love onions. Raw onions. I used to eat raw onion all the time. I used to be vegetarian growing up. For some reason, my dad decided to raise me vegetarian, and then let me choose on my own if I wanted to eat meat, even though he's, well, actually not vegetarian, pescatarian. I would eat fish and stuff. Which doesn't make any sense because fish is not. Anyway, yeah, it was a weird thing, but why did I mention this again? Oh yeah, so every time I used to be at a shop and like have to buy a sandwich, all the sandwiches have ham in them, or they either have ham or tomatoes, and I hate tomato like raw tomatoes. I can't eat them, which is really sad because everyone else seems to enjoy them so much. So I feel like I'm really missing out, but I just hate that for some reason. I can't. I just don't like them. So every sandwich either had raw tomatoes in it or ham in it, and as a vegetarian pescatarian, I couldn't eat ham. So I ended up eating loads of cheese and onion sandwiches, including at home. I would make cheese and onion toasties all the time. It would just be raw onion, cheddar cheese, put it in the George Foreman grill. 10 out of 10 sandwich. That's a 10 out of 10 sandwich. You can't go better than that. I'm telling you, cheese and onion is 10 out of 10 shit. Went to Greg's recently. Now, I don't know how many. I go to Greg's pretty often because there's one right near my uni, and it's a good thing to do on the break or on the way to uni since I don't get to eat breakfast. So I go to Greg's pretty often. If I'm at Greg's, normally I actually don't go for the sausage roll, although I will have a Greg's sausage roll. Normally I go for the chicken bake, right? But for some reason that day, maybe they were out of chicken bakes or something. But one day I was like, I'm gonna have a cheese and onion bake. And it was pretty good, but it wasn't no chicken bake, but it was pretty good. I can't say the cheese and onion bake is bad. It definitely wasn't bad. So there you go. Cheese and onion is good. Onions are good in general. I love the smell of my body when I only eat processed meat. That's an interesting comment. T-Shrek. What's your opinion on fasting? It's great. I fast. I generally do intermittent fasting pretty regularly. I have this great app called Zero on my phone. Let me see if I can find it. There we go. Fasting made simple. I haven't fasted in 3 days apparently, but let's see if I can grab my history. There you go. I fast pretty regularly. Not super long fasts. I'm planning on doing a 38-hour fast relatively soon. I just need to like have the right frame of mind for it, but soon I'm going to do one of those. Look, I'm getting lots of Twitter notifications. I wonder why that is. Oh no, someone with a Homestuck avatar just followed me on Twitter. Disgusting. Disgusting. He's one, an accelerationist. Debatable. And two, broke-ass neat. Also debatable. I go to university, so technically I am in education. But I'll give you points for effort. I don't know what you were referring to there, but sure. But yeah, in general, I think fasting is great. I think it's very good. I would highly recommend. I didn't actually log it in this app, but I did a 24-hour. Actually, it was probably a lot longer than 24 hours. A beer fast. So the idea is, you do what the monks used to do, which is to only drink beer, and that's great. I would recommend it. It's great fun, and it's good for you. Can I see the app you use for your periods? Are you ovulating? Yes, I'm ovulating. I'm ovulating all the time. I'm just non-stop ovulating. Just eggs, just streaming. They're just streaming out of me. It's crazy wacky. It's wacky and crazy, really. My computer fan is definitely. I heard fasting is good for improving your singing voice. I don't know how much credibility there is to that. You know, I don't know how that would make any sense. I can't particularly think of any way that would work, but fasting is generally good for you. The human body is made to fast. So go ahead and fast for a bit. The thing about fasting is it's really difficult for the first little bit, and then it becomes super easy. For the first, for the bit where you first skip a meal, you start to feel really hungry, but then after that, you basically feel fine. I remember watching or listening to the Procrastinators podcast, which I don't listen to anymore, but back in the day I used to. And one of the members was talking about how he was like, I'm gonna try this fasting thing, and he just ended up not eating for a whole week because he just didn't feel the need. Like he was just completely fine, which is a good. I mean, it works. There you go. Go into Audacity and import as raw an image and make a beat from the noises. Right now, okay. You're not going to be able to hear it though, because I don't have it set up to record audio. But I'll do it. I'll post it in the Discord. So if you're in the Discord, you'll hear it. I will do that right now. Although actually, I've actually tried this before. Funny enough, and it does the when you import an image as raw data into Audacity, it just sounds like white noise. So you can't really do much with the audio. But I will try something. I'll import an image of let me think. What is a good image to import? I will import an image of from Hidamari Sketch. There we go. 2-channel stereo import. Okay, it's literally just a tiny, like a tenth of a second of white noise. This is unusable. I'm sorry. It could be a snare. It could be a hi-hat. There's nothing else you can do with that. When are you going to find a nice? When are you going to find a nice girl to uncurse the semi-neat them? I have plenty of nice girls, man. Can't you mean art hoe at uni? I know plenty of art hoes at uni. I know plenty. The problem is they're all art hoes at uni. You just set it to ULaw. Alright, let me try that. I don't know what that means, but I'll see what happens. File, import, raw data. How do I set it to by order? No. ULaw. Okay. Done. It's still it's now slightly interesting white noise. Okay. You know, it's still pretty useless. It would make a good hi-hat. I don't see any way I could get any tone out of this though. That's the problem, is there's no way, I don't think there's any way I could get a note from this. I could make it into a weird sample, probably, but I don't know any way of me, I don't see how I could. I'm just gonna try fucking with the settings a little, see what happens. I'll try making it mono. Maybe it'll be longer. Oh wow, this is much longer. Okay. It still just sounds like weird white noise. Like, it could be. Alright, that was it. I can't make a song out of that. I could use it. I could put it in something. Like, it could be useful for certain circumstances. Like, if you've heard the song Thought Tactics by JPEG Mafia, where he uses those crowd screaming samples, like crowd samples, clapping samples in that song. I could see it being used in a similar way to that, but I couldn't make an entire song based on it. Like, it doesn't have enough interest. I did use a bigger image. I did slow it down, and it didn't do anything. And when you say stress the tempo, I assume you mean pull stretch it, which is not going to sound good because it's just white noise. Now, if you go on my channel, this channel, and you go to the video, I forgot what the video is called. You go to the video, it's got to be somewhere around here. Well, I made too many videos for a while there. Unsuccessful. The video is called Unsuccessful. There you go. You just watch the video Unsuccessful. Bam. Easy. Problem solved. Go click on my channel, scroll down for a bit, and watch the video Unsuccessful. And that will give you everything you ever wanted. You know what's underrated? Flanger. Best sound effects ever. Flanger isn't underrated. People love Flanger. I love Flanger. I use Flanger all the time. I made some good videos in my times. I've made some good videos. The Odyssey. Cyberpunk is dead. Punk is dead. A legend. The end of an era. Anti-boomer action. Give a fuck what you heard. Give a fuck what you heard is an underrated video. All my videos are underrated. I'm basically the greatest YouTuber who ever lived. Psychic Link is not underrated. People rate that exactly how it should be rated. I should make YouTube videos again. It's been a while. When are you going to review Joker? I haven't seen Joker yet. I don't really like giving money to Peter Wood. I'll probably watch it when it comes out on DVD. I'll pirate it. Hair metal ruined Flanger. I agree with that. Well, actually, I don't think so. On guitar, but who cares about guitars? Not me. Flanger doesn't even sound good on guitars. Flanger is better for drums. Flanger sounds good on drums. Sounds like a little. You got a little bit of like a. Like one of those things, you know. You want to get it by doing this. Yeah. You got all sorts of weird shit out here in my life. Any more stories about using cardistry to access VIP areas? No. It's pretty useless skill. Actually, well, I once got invited to someone's birthday party because of it. It's not that interesting. There's a magician called Bizarre Christian. He's like he's the level of fame that like if you are in the like magic community, you know who he is, but outside you probably don't. You almost certainly don't. But like he's well known within the magic community. And he happened to be in London at the time of his birthday, and I happened to have talked to him once before, and so he invited me to his little birthday bash when I was like 14, 15. It was very awkward because I was 14, 15, and he's like 20 something having a birthday party at Nando's. That's about it. There was other magicians there. It was cool. It was fun. It was a fun time. No, I don't really have any other stories about that. I'm trying to think. I've used it to like make friends before, or not really make friends, but like as what they call a social catalyst. But that was more magic than cardistry. Like I used to use magic tricks as a social catalyst all the time, but it doesn't really. It actually kind of sets you up badly for a social situation, because then people expect you to show them a new trick every time you talk to them, which is just bad. You don't want to do that, because then you're just that guy that does magic instead of like a cool person. That's about it. But yeah, I did that a couple times. Like basically introduced myself as a magician, and people enjoy magic. People actually, it's a common misunderstanding that like magic is something cheesy or whatever. But if you're semi decent and not like a kid's birthday party level magician, like people enjoy being fooled by magic. People genuinely enjoy it. It's generally a fun time had by all. But yeah, you do kind of put yourself in a hole by doing it. Yeah, that's about it. I've made friends. Well, not really friends, but back when I used to be more involved in the cardistry community, I had some cardistry friends that I would meet up with and just have a little cardistry jam with. There's a relatively famous cardist who he won the world cardistry competition at one point. Called oh fuck, I've actually forgotten his name. I think his first name is Andre. But I went to I met up with him a couple once or twice. Zach Mueller, who's one of them, probably the most famous cardistry person. He did a collaboration. Do you know that one streetwear brand, like that one clothing brand, where it's like the cat's giving the middle finger? Do you know the one I'm talking about? They have little T-shirts, and then the pocket is like it got a cat in it, and when you pull the pocket down, it's giving the middle finger. Do you know the streetwear brand I'm talking about? He did a deck of cards that like it was like a collaboration between his brand and those guys. He's really trying to push cardistry like a streetwear thing. He lives in LA, so it makes sense. Everyone who lives in LA is an idiot. But he's actually a pretty nice guy from when I talked to him anyway, so I know what I'm talking about. I just like fidgeting and stuff, like my hands, they need to be kept active, and cards are a good thing to keep my hands active with. Dude, there's nothing in my hands. You'll never see anything in my hands, ever. It's a perfect angle to describe it. You'll never know. Completely invisible. The perfect magic trick. This looks like I'm handing. Look, there's no. If I was to go look, there's nothing in my hands. You wouldn't think there's anything suspicious about that. This is exactly how normal people hold their hands. You'd be like, yes, this is exactly how normal people hold their hands, and there's nothing suspicious about that at all. Or is there? What? There was nothing there the whole time. It's crazy. This is one of my favorites. One of the old classics. I show people. Look, so this is called palming a card, right? It's called palming a card, but it looks really unnatural. So you have to like have your hands kind of bent like that to palm it properly, right? It looks kind of unnatural. But you can like, there's something called an invisible palm. You have to get your hand a little like sort of palm it like this, and then you sort of palm it like this, and it sort of disappears. Well, it looks like it disappears, but it's actually there the whole time. Look. It's pretty cool. Wow. Ba-da-boop. 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 Pow. It's been a long time since I did this. Oops. I can't even do it. Bullet by Andre Jick. Fucking hell. I'm struggling. This is not even difficult. I don't know why I'm struggling so hard with Bullet. It's not even a difficult move. That's looking very clean for once. Oh, if only you knew. This part I keep clean because this part normally half of it, about 50% of it, is taken up by my computer, and the rest of it I need space to move my mouse when I'm playing Counter-Strike. But it's this part that gets messy. The bit above it, as you can see, there's an old Satsuma in a bowl. There's some cod liver oil tablets, some music equipment, a fan. I should actually put the fan away since I'm not going to be using it because it's winter these days. Oh, is it possible to do a trick like this? Remember this card, because I'll forget it. What is it? 6 of diamonds? Yeah. Bro. Luna PS. What up, Luna PS? You can do all sorts of crazy shit with cards, like, look at this. One card is in the box. What? Oh, I dropped it. What? It was the 6 of diamonds, the card you picked the whole time. If I hadn't dropped it, that effect would have been way stronger, because you probably think I did something when I dropped it, but I didn't. I actually did it pretty well. That was a pretty cool trick, actually. 10 of hearts. In the middle of the deck. As you can see, it's lost in there. No breaks, no nothing. You just have to take the deck, and in the middle of the deck. What? It was a 10 of hearts the whole time. It's crazy. That's a fun one. I actually quite like that. I think I should, if I was to perform magic, I could go some, because that's a pretty ballsy trick. Like the move that you do is pretty ballsy. It's not ballsy on camera because I can see what I have to do. But it's ballsy in real life. You probably just saw me do it. I can do it very cleanly. Bro, I've been playing Vidya all day. Whack. Playing Vidya all day is based, actually. I found people, you know what I've done recently is found a bunch of people re-uploading my music to YouTube, which is fucking sick. It's crazy. People actually re-upload my music to YouTube. I found someone, the weirdest one, someone re-uploaded my speedcore remix of Akari from Yuri Yuri's character song to YouTube with a different title than I gave it on SoundCloud. Very strange, but based. I asked for credit. I commented on the video and was like, can I have some credit, please? I don't mind you posting my video, posting my song, but please to my SoundCloud or something. But thinking back on it, I don't actually care if I'm credited for that sort of shit, because all I did was add a kick to a song that already existed, really speed up, so whatever. Here, pick a card, any card. Oh, you wanted that one? Oh, look, it's the Joker. That's a bad choice. Let me pick a different one. Oh, you wanted that one? Wow, it's crazy. It's the King of Clubs. Let me just bury that somewhere back in the middle of the deck. So it's lost in there. You want me to give it a shuffle? Maybe I should shuffle it. You can see there's no breaks or anything. I'll give it a little bit of a shuffle. Whoa, I'm crazy. I'm just crazy like that. I'll give it a little bit of a fancy shuffle. Whoa, I'm crazy. I'm crazy like that. All sorts of fancy shuffles going on around here. Whoa, I even had a flip in it. That's crazy. What was your card? 10 of hearts. Wha-bam! Oh no, that's not it. That's the Joker again. Fuck's sake. The fucking Joker movie. It's all the Joker movie. Fucking incels. Well, the thing about the Joker is you just have to give it a little flick and it turns into the King of Clubs. That's the interesting thing about the Joker. I've managed to conquer Italy, Poland, and parts of Africa in this Mountain Blade mod. Based. Nice Madatsuki sweater, by the way. Thank you very much. I bought it specifically to get compliments online, because no one in the real world would possibly get this reference. Because I'm just too cool. I'm just too cool for people to get my references. I'm too epic. When was the last time you blazed? If you mean smoked marijuana, never. I've never smoked marijuana in my life. No, probably like 2 days ago. Yeah, day before yesterday. I just find that term very cringy because there was this kid at my school a long time ago who used to go around to people and be like, "Hey, you blaze, bro? You blaze, bro? Hey, yo, you blaze, bro? Yo, I blazed so hard the other day." He was kind of posh, so he sounded exactly like that. And so I just always found that term kind of cringy, despite the fact that it's not inherently cringy. It's just due to that guy. You blaze, bro? Oh yeah. When was the last time you blazed, bro? Hey man, you blaze? You wanna go blaze after school, bro? It's just kind of bad. Smoking weed with someone else is unbased. I don't know about that. I do appreciate where you're coming from, but I don't know if I'd say I don't know if I'd go as far as to say it's unbased. They're different experiences. It's a different thing. It's not necessarily better or worse. For example, I tend to get more paranoid when I'm on my own. Worms. Oh, I've been shooting for like 2 hours. Wholesomeness going down in the chat right now. It's okay. I left my lasting impact on the cardistry community with this. This is called the pamphlet card. I invented it. See? Goes like this. Oops. It's like my proudest thing I've ever done. Is create the pamphlet card. Which I'm not even good at. Because it's hard. Yeah, it's kind of a rip-off of L-Cuts, which I like this. Oh, fuck, I spent a long time to practice L-Cuts. Yeah, sometimes I get credited in random cardistry videos for inventing that. Which is funny. Funny times. Funny hard. Alright. I should learn cards. I looked into it a bit when I first got into pen spinning and wanted to expand my ranges, but never committed. I have a few nice bicycle books though, yeah. Oh, are you a horror life, perchance? Speaking of pen spinning, I wanted to talk about this Beg Larry that I got. Beg Larry is ridiculously fun. If you're into pen spinning, I'd recommend going into Beg Larry instead of cards because it's way more similar, but it's different enough to be fun. It's very fun. It's just, if you don't know what it is, it's just a string with 2 beads on it. It's completely different from cardistry. Like, it's completely inertia based. Whereas cardistry has almost zero momentum to it, which is why it's way more similar to pen spinning. It's kind of like pen spinning with a flexible pen, is how I describe it. Beg Larry is comfy, but the whole Beg Larry community, there's a Beg Larry community? I thought it was like 2 people. I didn't know it was popular. I think it must have gotten popular between the time when I got into it and the time when I like looked at it. Beg Larry is comfy. It has mean-tier relations with pen spinners. That's interesting. I don't know how that is possible. I mean, surely you just do both. I'm not like, oh man, I do pen spinning now, I have to quit cardistry. A bunch of really prodigious and skilled spinners ditch spinning for cardistry. I hate to say that's based, but but no, I don't know. I mean, look, people should just do what they think is more fun. I don't think it's bad to say like Beg Larry is really fun. I definitely enjoy doing it, but it's a completely different. It fulfills a very different need than cardistry for me. Like Beg Larry is very much. It's it's really satisfying to spin it around. Like it's very satisfying, but it's also like it's like an instant gratification thing. Like even when I learn expert or like what people say is like complicated like Larry tricks or whatever, like Neosonic. Actually, Neosonic would be more like an intermediate trick, but that like the Neosonic I just learned today, I got the Neosonic down in like 5 minutes. Like it took me no time to do it all. And I only learned it today, and now I can do it every time instantly. Like Larry's super easy, so it's just fun to like chain combos together. There are no difficult moves in Beg Larry. Like even the most difficult move won't take you like an hour to learn. Whereas cardistry, it took me 6 months to learn Padiddle, which is I still can't, which I haven't practiced, so I'm not gonna be able to do. But like it took me 6 months to be able to do this for a minute. And I was practicing every day. That shit is ridiculously hard. It's a completely different skill. I actually think it's pronounced Beglary. I don't know why I call it Beglary with the emphasis on the E. I think it's Beglary. I don't know. What are some modern tactics for culture jamming? I don't know what you mean by culture jamming. I'm going to need you to specify. Issue is that community-involved pen spinners are really fucking elitistic and will trash everyone new. And Beglary is filled with people who are interested in pen spinning but not willing to commit. Interesting. I'm not really involved in any of these things. You know, I didn't even know there was a Cardistry Discord until like a month ago, and now I'm in the Cardistry Discord, and it's fucking trash. Everyone is so normie. I already thought everyone was normie in the Cardistry community. Even back in the day, I thought everyone who did Cardistry was kind of boring. I appreciated their skills, but they weren't very interesting characters. Like they're mostly kind of chatty Zach Mueller types. I know that I don't think they're skilled, but yeah. Um, I don't know why you wouldn't commit to pen spinning. Like it's fun. If I had a nice mod, I would definitely pen spinning as well. But like layers is so cheap that I just got one from AliExpress a little while ago and got started playing with it. Like I would probably I could definitely, in fact, definitely, I already did do it. Got into pen spinning for a little while, but then I lost my pen thing. I couldn't be bothered to make another one. Actually, I just didn't know how to make another one because my friend made it for me, who was more into it than me, but also stopped doing it. Is there any way to use bots to plug up social media algorithms? I think they're already accounting for click farms. For some reason, that reminds me of there's a tactic within some or something that's been spreading through Antifa relatively recently is that people bring they say people should bring speakers to Antifa rallies or Antifa counter protests, specifically counter protests, and then with their speakers play copyrighted music as loud as possible. So that way, when right wing, because Antifa is always anti-journalist. Antifa has never, these days maybe more, but as from what I know as Antifa at least, has always been very like treated the media as part of the enemy because they help to dox people, like they help to reveal people's identities, which is not like Antifa is obviously against that. So they've always been against the news and the media. So the only media people that are there would be seen as supporting the the fascists. So the tactic is to bring speakers to Antifa rallies and play copyrighted music. That way, any right wing or any fascist news outlets can't upload their video to YouTube and monetize it because it will get struck down for copyright, which is somehow related to what you're talking about. I thought that was a good tactic, even though I'm not sure how accurate, how effective it'd be. It's a good idea. As for bots to clog up social media algorithms, I don't think that's possible. What I do think is possible is that everyone should always just be. There's a sort of weird culture that lying on the internet is somehow bad, but lying on the internet is good in every single way. You should always be lying about yourself on the internet because there's literally no reason to tell the truth. The people who push for telling the truth on the internet are the people who are going to profit from selling your data. If you give them fake data, they can't profit from it, or people are going to catch on. That's the method. It's just a lot of people need to just talk shit. Just constantly spread contradictory information about yourself, like I do. I do it a lot, even on here. Uh, I could send you a mod. I have a bunch of mods I don't use in my stash. That would be sick. Is the archetypical autism hobby, i.e., fidget cubes? Yeah, I think in my opinion, the archetypical autist hobby is train spotting, but I get what you mean. By the way, Zach Mueller's normal stuff. He edits like it's a highlight reel for Coachella. Yeah, of course I know this. Um, but the interesting thing about Zach Mueller is that the main thrust of his popularity within the magic and cardistry community came before he was actually any good at magic or cardistry. He just kind of had cool edits and good filming for the time. Nowadays, it's not considered that great. If you want to see someone who's genuinely good, I'd recommend Tobias Levin and Oliver Sogard, or something like that. I like when people have stashes of things. So do I. It's a clumsy tactic. I assume you're talking about the copyright music thing. I agree. It's a clumsy tactic, but I can imagine it working. For example, let's say you're in China and you're protesting something. If you blast Tiananmen Square facts from a loudspeaker, then the Chinese media can't use any footage from the protest and they'll have to dub over it and people will notice that. Or something like that. Like it's definitely an idea. There's something there. I don't know if they're using it to its full advantage, but there's something there. Can use SEO knowledge to produce AI spam bots. Don't they already do that? Isn't that what all those AI kids channels on YouTube do? The thing is, AIs aren't to a point yet where most people can't, like most people can still tell when something like that is made by an AI. Actually, a lot of articles, I've heard a lot of clickbait articles are written by, at least partially by AIs. So people do click on them. I don't know if you could really use it for anything other than making a bit of profit as a company. Maybe, like you say clogging up stuff with spam, but there is no clogging up stuff on the internet. There's no like these massive tech companies. Basically, I mean, they have unlimited bandwidth. And there's already so much information. Like you're not clogging stuff up. People will just ignore you because there's so many other places to go. It's really hard to do something like that. The only way to do something like that is to invade someone else who's already popular on those platforms. Like for example, a lot of times some people get hacked and the person who hacks them immediately posts like a bunch of dumb shit. If I knew how to hack people on Twitter or whatever, I would hack someone on Twitter and then just never tweet from them, just slowly screenshot their private messages, and then eventually post screenshots of their private messages on their Twitter. Or just, let's say you hack someone and you have to lock the original person out in order to complete the hack, like change the password or whatever. Then in that case, you tweet something that could be read as reasonably by them, but is slightly edgy. And then when they say I was hacked, people will doubt that they were actually hacked. That's a fun one. That's what I would do. That's probably a good one. Like tweet something that seems like maybe that person could actually believes that, but it's like a little racist or something. And then watch them squirm to say I was hacked, and everyone's like, yeah, everyone says that. But you were actually hacked. That'd be great. I thought transporting was a meme / stereotype. Listen, go to 1chan/rail. That's probably the best image board, by the way. 1chan/rail, probably the best image board. Also, I've seen train spotters in real life. It's not just they actually do exist. But I follow a couple of train spotting YouTube channels. Even though I have no idea what they're talking about, I find it very comfy. Trains, I completely understand the appeal of trains. They're like Gundams in real life, basically. They're big, bulky machines that require a bunch of infrastructure, and you can get really artistic in details about it. And they have, the trains are just real life Gundams. Blasting T-square copy past the exam process. You're out of a job and we figure out how to automate art. We already figured out how to automate art. They call it pop music. What did I miss? You didn't miss anything. Blacklisting corporate sites on unsecured private Wi-Fi. I mean public Wi-Fi. That's yeah, but what's that gonna do? The best way to, in my opinion, the best way to combat this sort of thing is just to try your best to create or help those who are creating better alternatives. I don't think. Look, there. Okay, I'm gonna be serious for a second here. There are options for combating big tech companies, Facebook, Google, Amazon. There are options. It is possible to do. However, the methods by which they must be combated, I can't talk about on YouTube. So, take that information where you will, and you know it's true. You know what I'm talking about. That's the only way that those companies are going to be dealt with. As for what, if you're not willing to do that sort of thing, can be done, the only option is to provide better alternatives that are decentralized and not Mastodon. Because Mastodon is a terrible, terrible fucking. How do I explain this? You don't want it to be federated. You don't want it to be just like. It's the same thing. It's still client server model. It's just there's a bunch of servers. It has to be truly decentralized, like IPFS or Batman or something like that. Batman is a protocol, by the way. It's a bit ridiculous that it was called that. You need to create distributed web. That's what needs to happen. Even the Internet Archive knows this. Even the Internet Archive is moving to distributed platforms. That protocol, for example, there's a bunch of them. There's already too many of them. There's no point in making your own. Try and help another one, or fork another one, or donate, or translate documentation, or anything you can do. That is the options. Those are your options. You gotta do something to the data centers. You gotta be friendly and not damage the data centers in any way or participate in any illegal violent actions. Don't do that. And or help provide better alternatives that are. But here's the thing. The thing everyone's trying to do is to make something that's as easy to access as possible so that all the normies will move over, forgetting that that's the exact problem that happened to the internet, is that all the normies moved over because it came really easy to access. You want to have a little skill check. You want to have a little vibe check at the gate. You need to have a little protocol that vibe checks everyone. And then you got to have a vibe check at the gate. Then it's fine. Which image board? 1chan. 1chan.com.org/rail. That option is the Anarchist Codebook and Chapo Trap House. I've never listened to Chapo Trap House in my life. I don't intend to. I've read the Anarchist Cookbook and it's very outdated. The majority of the Anarchist Cookbook is about phone phreaking, which is like hacking like phone booths and like landline phone things to get free phone calls, which is kind of unnecessary. In fact, it's completely unnecessary in this day and age. So also, people have tested a lot of the recipes from the Anarchist Cookbook, and a lot of them don't work or aren't as effective as they are meant to be, like said to be. Also, there's a lot of stuff about like credit card scamming in the Anarchist Cookbook that has been patched out of the system, like stuff that doesn't work anymore. There are other alternatives to that book, but I'm not going to mention them here. But I'm sure you can find them if you look hard enough. But the Anarchist Cookbook is mostly a meme. I don't like this primitive anarchism. Smashes indeed. I don't like this primitive anarchism. Where's the report button? There's no primitive anarchism going on here. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's all become Nazbol primitivists. How is that possible? The Piss Pig Granddad. I like Piss Pig Granddad. I didn't know he was on Chapo. Cookbook got showed by the glories. Yeah, pretty much. Well, it just sounds good. The Anarchist Cookbook is a catchy title for a book about how to go into Walmart and epically prank people by playing something on the radio in Walmart. That is an actual thing that they talk about in the book. Uh, I have various opinions about these sorts of things. Do you have any PDF, EPUB, etc. does about Smashes / Pwnage? No. For legal reasons, I must say no to that question. I mean, when I say for legal reasons, I mean, of course, in actuality, I don't have any materials pertaining to illegal or violent actions. I've never thought any questions to any official narratives. There you have it. Alright, I've been streaming for like 2.5 hours. I think I'm gonna end the stream now. I'm kind of getting bored. Well, thanks for coming along, folks. Be sure to have some conversations. Hoa Love, Lunapus. If you want to learn cardistry, go ahead and do it. It's fun. As for everything else that's been discussed, I have no comment. I'll see you later, guys. Oh, that ramen, or whatever it was, I guess it wasn't really ramen because it wasn't ramen noodles, but whatever that noodles shit was, fucking amazing. Go buy some dashi, go eat some vegetables, go drink some water. Good shit.